Our topic for today is how to position yourself on social media when you're not an expert yet. Why are we talking about this? Because I think if you've been on social media lately, every single person is an expert. And honestly, I am sometimes thinking, did this word completely lose its meaning? Because not everyone can be an expert. But the problem here is that people don't really know how to position themselves differently, and they think that they have to be an expert because this is the only way how they can generate trust and credibility. But it's not, and this is what we are going to talk about today. But definitely, you need to be on social media because as an entrepreneur, yeah, business owner, self-employed person, you need visibility. You need that top of the funnel solution. How people discover you, how people learn you exist, how you bring traffic to your offer. You need to be on social media because all of your customers are there. I don't have statistics in this presentation today, but more than 80% of population in Europe are on social media. So the chances are very high that your clients are also on social media. But how can you create this visibility? By positioning yourself as a strong personal brand with a strong personality, with a strong point of view, and with a strong expertise. But then again, that doesn't have to be through expert perspective, and this is what we will be talking about today. Um, how do you start with creating your personal brand? Um, I already mentioned a few steps, but you definitely need to have a very clear message of what you're trying to say as a personal brand. What people should know you for. What are you trying to say? Why should they follow? Why should they care? Why should they listen? Yeah. And you, of course, you are there on social media because you want people to buy from you. This is your marketing activity. And so it has to bring you money eventually. So people have to trust you. People have to see that you are an expert, that you know what you're talking about. So you need to communicate your knowledge and your expertise. But you also need to create genuine connection with your target audience. You need to make yourself human. You need to show people that you are a real person with real story, with real problems, that it's not that you are not just some robot, or ChatGPT writing this. And as this is especially difficult now, and only people, experts with a strong personal brand can stand out. Yeah, because we have ChatGPT sharing all that knowledge. Anyone can get answers to any of their questions. So you have to create a personal brand, a brand that's trusted with a real connection to your audience and with a clear message. So I would define three success factors for every personal brand that you need to know before you go out there and start posting content. You need to know that consistency is non-negotiable, and everyone says consistency, and for many people it doesn't mean anything anymore, but this is literally so important. Just think about how many people start a new account every day, how many people start a blog, how many people say, I'm going to be the next influencer. And after a week or two, not seeing any results, they give up. You don't want to be one of those people. You actually want to pull through. Because if people see you showing up every single day, they start trusting you. They start seeing you as this focal point of high value information, as a reliable resource, as someone who stands for their audience and who stands by what they are saying, by their theme and their topic of expertise. If you don't like the word consistency, I also don't really like it because it puts some sort of pressure on me, I would say. think about it as a commitment, because on the other end, there are real people. And at some point, if you do show up all the time, they will start relying on you. They will start wanting to see you. And if you are not there, it's like ghosting your friends. It will affect your relationship. So to make it a bit more human, and we have to be human, um, in these times of AI and robots, we think about it as a commitment to real people who like you, trust you, and want to see you there, who are there expecting your content. And there are those secret fans that we don't know, we don't see, but they're there. Even if they don't like, even they don't comment, they are reading every single thing that we post. And in the end, we are doing it for them. Another success factor is clarity. Clarity in every single thing you do, and really clarity beats creativity and cleverness. Don't try to be clever. Don't try to be original. If it's unclear what you're selling, what you're trying to say, your audience is lost. So don't sacrifice. Oh, sorry. Don't sacrifice what you are trying to achieve with every post, every account, every marketing activity. People have to understand what you offer, what value you deliver, what's needed for them, what your account is about, why should they listen? Because if they're not convinced, if they don't understand, if they're confused, they will not buy. And then all of our efforts are lost. And finally, the third success factor is connection. Um, Once again, in the time of AI and robots, we have no choice but to be real people and to show ourselves as real people. So we cannot just be sharing knowledge. It cannot be just expert content. No, you have to make yourself vulnerable. You have to show who you are, your thoughts, your character, your personality, your stories, your values, your ups and downs, so that when people consume your content, they think, oh my God, I feel like I know her and I feel like she knows me and we understand each other. If you are ready and you understand all these three things, the next steps will be much easier. Now that we have made a commitment, we know that we need to create a connection. How do we actually do it? How do we go out there and how do we position ourselves? And many people sabotage themselves because they are just starting out and they think they have to be experts, but they're not because they don't feel like they are, and they probably are not. If you're just starting out, if you don't have long years of track record, if you don't have lots of case studies, lots of experience, you're not really an expert and you don't have to be. You don't have to be credible, to be trustworthy, and to be on social media. People will not be buying from you just because you're an expert. If you don't have connection with those people, they will not buy from you. So just positioning yourself as that knowledgeable individual will not do you any good if you are not. That is why there are actually 5 prisms for your personal brand, how you can position yourself on social media. And you can choose one of them, and this is how you can present the content, present your point of view to your audience. So the first one is an expert. Yeah, somebody with a big track record, lots of experience, lots of years in the industry, lots of insights, lots of knowledge. This person is really a thought leader and an industry expert. There is, however, another prism called the leader. This is not far away from the expert, but you don't have to have the track record. You don't have to have many years of experience. You just need to be one step ahead than all the rest. And you need to be somebody who is not afraid to try, to test, to experiment, and to report the results to others. So you can say, I know my shit. Sure, but I also am trying a lot and I'm telling you what works, what doesn't work, so you don't have to test it on your own, so you can just take this system and make it work for you. Yeah, the leader is somebody who is there to inspire, to encourage, to motivate, to lead the people to the next step. But the leader has to be a step away, ahead of the rest of the audience. So if you feel like, okay, you are not at the expert level yet, but you do have that expertise, you do have this power, passion to do things, try things, and teach others how to do this, this might be the right prism for you. So you don't have to pretend to be somebody you are not. You can openly showcase yourself, position yourself as the leader that you are, and lead others there where they want to be. The third prism is the peer prism. This is somebody who is on the same level with their audience, and this is somebody who is learning and reporting their knowledge to the people around, to their audience. The peer will say, well, I'm on the same level as you, but here's what I've learned, and I'm reporting back to you, and this is the source of the information that I've learned. The peer will also probably say what they think about it because they are slowly developing into the leader. But at this point, they're just saying, this is what I've learned. This is what you want to learn. You can learn as well if you're more interested in this source. The fourth prism is an investigator prism. This is somebody who questions a lot, who is skeptical by the nature, who doesn't trust everything they read, and they like to do research, they like to do analysis, and then they have a strong opinion about the topics that they're interested in, and they are not afraid to present that opinion, and they're not afraid to present the results of their research to others. So this is an investigator. You are not leading anyone yet, but you're also not learning as the peer. You are really an investigator. You collect information and then you present it from your point of view. And the curator, on the other hand, is somebody who doesn't express their opinion because maybe they are not ready yet or they haven't formed that opinion, but they are doing the work of collecting the information, curating it, and presenting it for the public. So this is a perfect, actually, first step if you are still learning, if you don't have your own opinion yet, but you want people to start associating you and your personal brand with this topic. You can just collect information and present it, give the sources, but not really say what you think about it. So here you go. 5 prisms that you can choose from when you post on social media. And it will not give you an imposter syndrome if you think, oh my God, I have to position myself an expert because this is the only way people will buy from you. From me. No, this is not true. You can also position yourself as an investigator who is questioning all those experts because, well, maybe they are not reporting all the truth. Or you can position yourself as a leader saying, hey, I am doing this and I'm trying this and this works, that doesn't, don't repeat my mistakes and do this instead. So think about what you've been doing so far and if you've had a strong position. Because if you don't have a clear position, people will not know how to really perceive you. And confused customers are not real customers, they will not buy. So you want to really clarify for yourself who you want to be, how you want people to perceive you. And this will all make all of your content so much better and so much clearer, and you will be able to create that strong connection with your audience on a genuine, real level. Okay, now that we have understood what prism we want to choose for ourselves and for our personal brand, we need to think about what do we actually post. And as entrepreneurs, consultants, coaches, personal brands, I don't talk about content pillars. I don't like. I think this is so rigid. A corporate brand can have content pillars because like they are like, strict. There are rules. 100 people will proofread everything you wrote. So personal brand, think about yourself as a diamond. You are unique and only you are like this. There is no other person like you, no other coach like you. You have your unique set of expertise, you have your unique set of skills, your unique vision, your unique approach, unique values, and this is how you want people to also see you. You want people to see how multi-sided you are, how multidimensional you are, because one-dimensional people are boring. One-dimensional, nobody wants to read content from a one-dimensional person. And this is another way how we create this true connection with the people, by showcasing all of us. Of course, in its limits, we want to stay professional, but there is really something special about thinking of ourselves as diamond. It gives me a lot of inspiration, and it just makes me smile when I think about others because I do think everyone is a diamond. So, how do you build your diamond for your personal brand? You start with the main topic of expertise that you have, and let's say it's broad, it's leadership. And then you divide it into subtopics. For example, you can have leadership strategies. This is something like expert kind of content, kind of dry, nothing really personal much. But then you can write about how leadership looks like in your everyday life. So you can connect your personal everyday life to leadership strategies, and make it a bit more interesting, a bit more multidimensional. Or you can write about how you implement leadership in your relationships or raising a child. Here, there are also so many different content ideas that you can implement, like that you can write under this subtopic. And it again makes it way more personal, way more interesting, and less dry as just like leadership leadership strategy. That's very dry. Then you can also talk about which books, leadership philosophies influence you, your way of leadership, what you've learned, who other experts that you look up to. And then you can also share your failures and learnings as a leader. This shows an immense amount of work and expertise that you're already doing, but not from the point of view, hey, look at me, I'm this leadership coach, book me. No, this is from the point of I've tried, I learned, I failed, I learned something. Do it like this, don't do it like this. You give this knowledge so that others can use it, and you also show yourself as a human. And then you can talk about leadership mindset, some skills, tricks that leaders need to have in order to be leaders. And all of this you present from the prism of an expert, if you are one. If you are not, you present this from the perspective of a leader or a peer or investigator. That stayed still in German. Didn't translate this once. So, how does it look for me, for example? I have chosen for me a prism of a leader because I do feel like I am already a step ahead a little bit of most of my audience. I am not afraid to show what I'm learning, what I've been trying, and how it worked out for me. And my broad theme is personal branding and online presence, most importantly for personal branding. And so my subtopics include social media strategies, personal branding, digital systems. But I also talk a lot about my personal experience, like really a lot. Most of these things that, like my expert topics, I do show them through my personal learning, personal experience, how I started my business, what I'm doing. how it's going, what I'm trying, what's working, what's not, how it worked with my career change, how I worked in startups. Like I take all of my professional knowledge and I show it from the perspective of my personal experience. I also show my husband a lot in my content and my dog. And this also, first of all, of course, it shows me as a human, but it also kinda, the whole thing with my dog shows that I do know what I'm talking about because he has a successful Instagram account. So I test a lot of things with his Instagram account, really, and then I report to my audience so that they learn based on what I already tried. And then I also talk about sport and mindset and events and entertainments and just the lifestyle of a business owner. So these are my topics. And this is how I want people to see me. I want them, of course, to associate my main topic with me, which is personal branding and online presence. But I want them to see me as a more multi-sided person and not a one-dimensional, boring person. So now that you have identified your prism and you have chosen your content like your content diamond, what's next? Next is optimizing your account and planning your content that it fits your positioning. I would make another webinar about how to optimize your profile, and I think we could do like um, if we could do like an account audit and like go through each other's accounts and like say what's good, what's not, what could be improved. But generally speaking, when we talk about profile optimization, you want to have a clear, concise bio that delivers the unique value proposition, showcases social proof, and has call to action. You want to have professional profile picture because you're an entrepreneur, you're an expert. And you, of course, want to have a call to action that links to some landing page, for example, with your freebie, maybe. Then your highlights and your pin posts act as mini landing pages. So you need to design them so they guide a person from getting to know you to signing up for your offer. And then, of course, we want to plan the content that we just described in our personal brand diamond. Planning your content depends on what is your goal on social media right now. Everything starts with a goal. You cannot just start posting for the sake of posting. Okay, you can if your goal is just some sort of visibility and staying present, kind of so that people see that you're still alive, that you are still operational, your business is not closed. But I can tell you for a fact that you cannot expect growth if you are just posting like visibility content every now and again. If your goal is growth and gaining new followers and potential clients, you need to apply a very specific content plan and you need to post very specific content, which is growth content. We will go into it in more details. And then if your goal is trust, so you want to build connection and convert relationships. So for example, you already have enough following and now you want to monetize that following and you need to have a different content plan and you need to post different content that builds this trust. So how do you build a personal brand that stays visible? So if your goal is to stay visible, it's okay to post 2-3 times a week. You can mix your topics, like we have defined our diamond, we have all these different topics, and it really doesn't really matter what we post as long as we post and as long as people see that we exist. There's no pressure to go viral, and you just stay visible and maintain relationships. However, if you want to build a personal brand that's growing and gaining new followers, there's really no way around it. You have to post every day. And you have to focus on growth formats, which are reels and carousels in 2025. And you need to post on viral topics with strong hooks and shareable content. Because only if people share it Like it only if your content is so good that people decide to share it with their friends, this is the guaranteed ticket to going viral. But that's only possible if your content is shareable, if it's so good that people wanna show it to their friends and partners. So if your goal is growth, your content calendar has to look like this: 80% growth content and 20 building trust. And if your goal is building trust, you also have to post daily, but you have a bit different content that you have to post. You focus on stories, behind the scenes, personal posts, more of nurture kind of content than growth. Yeah. And then you can focus more than 60%, like 60% on building trust, 20% on growth content, and 20% on sales. So let's look a bit into more details into how this Instagram content funnel works for growth. Growth means we are attracting attention and driving traffic for our account and generating new followers. So if our goal is growth, we want to post 80% growth content, and growth content is everything that's about pain points of your audience and solving those pain points. Tips, tricks, instructions, collections, and trends. Using trending audios, jumping on trends. You don't have to dance, you have to jump on trends because those will guarantee more visibility. You can jump on trends in a professional way, and that really works. That really will push your content way further than if you're staying very modest and just using your original content. But of course, if you have your original content that's like super funny, super entertaining, because people are mainly looking for entertainment on social media. If you have your original content that's really hits where it hurts for your target audience, you will also go viral. So if your goal is to grow, you have to focus on the growth content. Forget sales. Sales are done through stories, and you have to post feed content like reels and carousels. And you can, of course, nurture. You can talk about yourself a little bit. You can share your insights. But if you put more content about you, then you sacrifice the growth content because the growth content is more about your audience. And then if your goal is to nurture, then you switch primarily to nurture content. Yeah, you can do carousels, photos, stories, and trust content is personal stories, everyday life, behind the scenes, case studies, everything that brings the person from like just knowing you to trusting you and maybe potentially buying from you. And then you also introduce sales content. Sales content is stories. You sell most of the stuff in your stories. Only the hottest audience is watching your stories. So in your stories, you will want to post about case studies, results, testimonials, projects, and your offers. Because only in stories, you cannot do that in your feed. Only in stories, you can add direct link where people can directly click and book, directly click and buy. So yes, at this point, you start introducing new nurture content. And when you have, I think I don't have a slide here for what the funnel would look like for a sale, but typically, you will go through the phases. You will focus for a few months on just growth content to generate as much traffic as possible and new followers. And then you will switch to nurture phase where you bring these people to, like, you warm them up and you activate them and you bring them to the next step. And then you have your launch. For example, short 3-day launch where in stories you show case studies, you show your personal story, because usually we are our first clients, so we can show like, okay, I was there, now I'm here. My client was there, now they're here. And then you offer, for example, a free consultation, and you close those people who booked a call, you close them on the sales call. You can also offer a freebie, but then you have to create an email funnel, and that's a bit of a longer process. So if you're just starting out, a 3-day launch with a free discovery call is really a good way to go to generate your first money to get in contact with your first clients, because if people already saw your cool growth content that like really solved their problems, and they saw that your method works because you provided great nurture content, they will be willing to take that next step. So to summarize today, this was like a very short overview, just so you have a bit clearer picture on how can you position yourself on social media, how can you talk about yourself, about your offers, about content. Talking about content, like how can you create content so it's natural to you, so you don't feel like you're an imposter, so you can really start creating that connection with your audience. Yeah. um Choose what you want to be for your audience. Choose who you want to be. Do you want to be their leader? Do you want to be their peer? Do you want to just be a curator because you're not ready to express your opinion? That's all is fine. But once you have chosen, posting content will be so much easier because you will know who you are and your audience will understand who you are. Then decide what you want to post about. Define your diamond. You are unique. There is nobody like you. And really choose the topics that you care about that are related to your topic of expertise, and talk about those topics from your chosen prism. Set a goal for your content. Um, do you want to just practice? If you just want to learn to create content, if you're not ready to create any viral content because you don't have the tools, don't know, like you don't have the how, just start doing something. Just stay visible, just stay present so people see you are there and you're doing something. And once you have gained the skills to create viral reels, it is not so hard. Like you can come to my workshop in June. I will show you how to create reels that have a bit of that wow effect, and so fast and easy to create is amazing. Set a goal and just follow that goal. Stay consistent. Yes, and the last point is post consistently, clearly, and as a real person. That's what we want. As a personal brand, we want to be real. We want to be somebody who others look at and think, wow, I like them. I like their aura. I like their personality. I want to work with them, because this will be really a deciding factor for many, many people to work with you, because they like you. They like you as a person, not as an expert. They have ChatGPT for that. They will like you as a person. So be open, be authentic, be yourself, and people will love you for this. Okay, so thank you very much. I think we are anyway connected all on Instagram. Do you have any questions